Welcome to our 100th episode of What's Cooking. I'm your General Manager for Culinary, Steve Newcomb. We thought we'd do something a little different today, so I'm live from Megan's desk. Don't tell her. But what we've got today is we're going to show you how our crab cakes are made from the very start of the process, which is picking the crab until it gets all the way to you. And we're going to include some pommes frites, which are French fries, and then some balsamic Brussels sprouts with this as well. All right, so we've got some Maryland blue crabs here. They've already been steamed. We didn't add any Old Bay to this process because we're going to be adding some Old Bay to the actual crab cake itself. But I'm going to show you how to pick a crab and get the right kind of meat out of here. So first thing we want to do is try to open up this body shell. Oh, again, don't tell Megan. Okay. We'll remove these lungs. And then crack the body cavity in half. Now all the best crab meat are back towards the swimmer fin here. This is called the back fin. So all the meat that comes from this area is back fin crab meat. If you ever see that for sale in a store, you can see the lump in here. These other fins they use for lower grades of crab meat, and the bigger the lump that you get from back here, the more expensive it is. And the best way to get this lump out is to just crack it and then pull the leg away from the body. And you want to try to keep this lump as intact as possible because that's where all the flavor is when you put your crab cake together. Got a couple pieces that I've already done over here. Add it to them, and that's pretty much the process for removing the lump crab meat from the body. Again, you can see large hunk of meat that we're going to put into the crab cake. We don't use any of the claw meat for the crab cakes. The process for getting that meat out is somewhat the same. Sometimes you're going to need some crackers to get the meat out of here. We got lucky right there. But usually this meat, you can still make crab cakes out of it, but it's not going to have any lumps to it. A lot of times places will use these meat for soups, but we don't use this type of crab meat for any of our crab cakes. We just focus on the jumbo and the lump pieces to get a nice cake for you with. All right, I'm going to finish up ruining Megan's desk and pass it off to Shelley, and she's going to show you what we do with the crab meat once we have it all ready to go. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve. Now we're going to put our crab cake together. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our crab mix, which consists of these ingredients that I have here. We've got some mayonnaise, we've got Dijon mustard, Worcestershire sauce, we've got some fresh lemon, some seasonings here, of course some Old Bay, and some eggs. So we're going to put that all in our mixing bowl. And this sauce can be made a day in advance and left to sit in your refrigerator. We're going to put some eggs in there. I like to use fresh eggs. We're going to crack 2 eggs and put that in our mixture there. We've also got some Dijon mustard, so we're going to put that in as well. And Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of that. Some fresh parsley, we'll sprinkle that in there. And of course the Old Bay seasoning, which makes it the Maryland crab cake. Put a little bit of that in. And I've got some fresh lemon. You can use bottled lemon if you'd like, but I like to use fresh. So we'll just take the seeds out of that. Put a little bit of fresh lemon in there. All right, now we're ready to mix it up. I like to use a whisk. You can just mix it with the spoon if you don't have a whisk. You just want to incorporate that all together. And the reason that we don't add that to all the ingredients separately into our crab, because we don't want to break up those nice lumps of meat. So we're going to make our mix separate, and you can see pretty creamy. Looks a little spicy, but it's not, because you're going to be incorporating your crab into there. So then we're going to set that aside, and we're going to get our crab together. So here at Carroll Lutheran, we like to use lump crab, and we like to use the blue crab from Maryland. And you can see that I have the can here, and you can see all those nice lumps in there. So you really don't want to break that up. So I like to just open the can and put it over into my bowl, and you can see all those nice lumps of crab in there. And I'd like to just break it apart a little bit with my fingers. You don't want to smash it together, because you'll break it all up. But you can see our mixture of crab, nice whole pieces in there. So now we've got our crab mix that we made a little bit earlier. And I like to just gently pour that onto our lump meat. See how I'm mixing that in? I never use a spoon to mix my crab. I always use my hands, because you want to be very gentle. So we've got our crab meat in there, we've got our crab mix in there, and what you want to do now is you're going to mix these ingredients together. So you can see that I'm just gently, you just want to gently fold your crab. Okay, because if you take your hands in there and start smashing it around, you're going to break up all those beautiful lumps. And this is actually, you can actually mix this a day in advance and let this sit in your fridge. But today we're just going to mix it thoroughly, mix as little as you have to, because you want to hold those nice pieces. So you can see that it's pretty moist. And now we're going to scoop those out onto trays, and we're going to put those in the oven and bake them. Okay. So now we're ready to get our crab cakes in the oven. So I like to spray my trays. And we're going to use a 4-ounce scoop. So you want to just be very gentle, scoop that up very gently and put it on your pan. And you can see how nice and moist that is. You don't want your crab cakes dry. So we're going to go in the oven with that, and you want to cook it to 165 degrees. You want it nice and golden brown on the outside, but you still want it moist on the inside. And then when it's done, we're going to pull that out and plate it for you. So now our crab cake is done. It's reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees. You can still see the nice lumps in there. And of course, we're going to serve that with some lemon and our house-made tartar sauce. And we'll be turning this over to the next folks that are going to be talking about the rest of our dish this week.
Thanks, Shelley. We're going to be making the pommes frites. The pommes frites are hand-cut French fries that will look like this after they come off the machine. In order to make them as crispy as possible, the first thing we need to do ahead of service is to blanch them, which means to par cook them for just about 30 to 45 seconds, and then we pull them out of the deep fryer and let them cool. And then when we need them for service, we drop them back in and they get incredibly crispy.
Okay, now that we have our fries blanched, we're going to drop them back in the fryer and get them crispy. It'll just take about 3 to 4 minutes until they're just right.
Thanks, Dave. I'm Zach. Today we got Brussels sprouts that are blanched for 5 minutes. Then we're going to toss them in oil and salt and pepper, and we're going to put them in the oven for about 20 minutes.
All right, thanks, Zach. I'm going to take the Brussels sprouts that we now just took out of the oven, and they're roasted. We're going to put them onto a pan. And then we just take a little bit of a, we use a balsamic vinegar glaze, and just drizzle a little bit across the top. If you want, you could also just take some balsamic vinegar, put it on the stove, and reduce it down to a syrup consistency for the same thing. I want to thank everybody for allowing us to make this 100th video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fun, and certainly, hopefully, we are now reaching a point where we're getting back to some normalcy, and you'll start seeing more of these dishes and can continue to enjoy them as we go through these in the bistro and in the cafe. Thank you.